In order to properly tell this story, I need to take you back to New Year's Eve, where I had just clocked out at my job for the last time. A new door had opened, and I was about to embark on what can only be described as an incredible new journey. It was January 1st, I loaded up my truck and drove until my tires hit sand. I spent the night at Clearwater Beach, forgetting almost entirely that it was midwinter back home. Next, I booked an Airbnb in Avon Park, Florida, with a king-size bed and a jacuzzi, all to myself for the next 2 weeks. My host, Aldo, turned out to be an amazing chef and became a great friend who never let me leave the house on an empty stomach. It was time to train. I dreamt of flying for years. I even bought my own setup in case I ever got the nerve to teach myself to fly. Thanks to a lucky opening at 4 Runs PPG, Lauren and Shannon Michaels got me in on January 4th to begin hours of classroom and ground handling work. Day 4, I took my maiden flight, a moment that truly changes a person's life. I decided to celebrate with an extra most bestest pepperoni pizza from Little Caesars that night. I had been literally and figuratively on cloud 9. I spent my downtime exploring mind-blowing state parks like Highlands Hammock, Lake Okeechobee, and climbing every lighthouse I could find. Once training was done, I picked Tara up at the Tampa airport and we raced to the beaches of Miami for some high-quality relaxation. We rented bikes and ate the best street food money can buy. We explored beaches, most of which were decked out with Kansas City Chiefs logos in honor of the upcoming Super Bowl. And of course, we climbed more lighthouses. But sadly, before I knew it, my 3 weeks in Florida was over. Back into the bitter cold Kansas winter, where it was time to stock up on firewood and finally start my own business that I'd been slowly working up to for the last 7 years. Remember the Super Bowl beach venues I was talking about? It was finally that time. I loaded up the flying machine and flew over every Super Bowl party in the area, throwing out red streamers to hype everyone up just before kickoff. One of the best comeback victories in NFL history. We like to go skiing once a year, so I called up the gang, and before we knew it, we were back on the road, headed towards Steamboat Springs, Colorado. The first night, we checked out Strawberry Hot Springs, which, in hindsight, probably wasn't the best idea, given the combo between Valentine's Day and the dress code after sundown. Lots of laughs and plenty of wipeouts for one ski trip, and soon we were back in the truck headed for flat ground once again. Little did we know, we just lucked out. All resorts were shut down a few weeks later due to some virus called Corona. Introducing social distancing. My customers were now greeted with a shiny yellow drop box with a convenient bottle of hand sanitizer rather than a handshake. Zoom meetings were the new thing, making devices such as iPads and iPhones more important than ever, turning me into a busy guy. In my downtime, I began woodworking and gave my living room a whole new furniture set. By April, I'd even built my own board game. And when I wanted to have fun, flying was the ultimate way to social distance. Quarantining for us meant lots of trips to the gym, where I decided to push myself physically. One day, I had the spontaneous urge to bike all the way to Manhattan, Kansas, nearly 80 miles away. A rainy 6-hour ride through the Flint Hills, mission accomplished. We enjoyed picnics from the bed of my truck. That's so wow. I'm talking where we'd watch the sunset. And we had way too much fun at my sister Brianna's wedding. Wish I could say the same for our party bus driver. No time for hangovers. The next day, we were headed back west. Utah is one of my favorite places, and since learning to fly, I couldn't wait to be back. I wasn't about to miss the opportunity to fly through the Corona Arch during the Corona pandemic. We experienced a once-in-a-lifetime night hike to Delicate Arch under a full moon, and had the entire place to ourselves. Fueled purely by road trip snacks and a sense of adventure, we woke up in the most amazing places after scoring the best campsites imaginable. At one point, we thought we were literally going to die hiking to the Cosmic Ashtray, and wasted no time ordering Mexican and booking the nearest hotel once we knew we were going to be okay. We made it back to Kansas for the 4th of July, where I invited some friends to come fly around Centralia Lake. We soared over wind turbines until we were met by jet skis just looking for a race. After nearly getting taken out by projectile beer cans, it was time to bring her in for a landing. Back to the mountains again. Tara's family got together in Breckenridge, where we stayed in the Moose House. Now we know where it got the name. I got the bright idea to fly to Sonic for a burger. Quarter pounder with bacon. Broke in the new fishing pole, and eventually threw all my camping gear into a gym bag and flew to a farm pond for some nice secluded fly camping. I hovered over fog in absolute awe, followed train tracks for miles, and had the opportunity to take photos of a friend's family farm. The next morning, I went for the most jaw-dropping flight I'd ever been on. I didn't quite make it back to the truck, but I know one thing. I learned more from that one flight than the rest of them combined. Tuttle Creek had got the best of me, and it was time for a redemption flight, so I called up my friend Keegan and asked if he wanted to fly under the Randolph Bridge. After filling the gas tank to the brim this time, we blasted off, and the rest is history. Harvest was upon us, and I'd just been promoted to full-time grain cart man. Countless hours spent in a tractor might sound like a boring job to some, but I had plenty of ornery little boogers by my side to help keep things interesting. And as you could have guessed, I still managed to sneak in a quick flight here and there. I'd been keeping up with my daily 5K runs, and I got the wild hair to knock out my first half marathon. As soon as harvest was over, my friend Tyler and I hit up Colorado Springs. We explored the towers of Bishop Castle, and I gave the Manitou Incline a whirl. Yep, during a snowstorm. The following week, Tara and I checked out Leadville, Colorado. We snowplowed down Jeep trails, explored train tunnels, and checked out several abandoned gold mines.
We're Tara and we just walked to the Hagerman Tunnel. The trek was longer than expected, but definitely worth it. You should check it out.
After hiking, we headed towards Cottonwood Hot Springs, where the mineral-rich water helped reset our mind and body for the next day of adventures. The wildfires were a sad sight, but made for some of the best Colorado sunsets we'd ever seen. We got back to Kansas, and I decided to give Halloween a bit of a twist. I bought these parachute guys on Amazon, strapped candy to their back, and dropped them from the sky. Not sure who had more fun, me or my nieces and nephews. I maintained a solid running routine, and before I knew it, I'd ran my 100th 5K of the year. All in all, 2020 was, well, a lot. Every event was written in pencil, not pen. You were lucky if you only had to send out one save the date, testing the phrase, "Love is patient." Bonus points if all your invites were actually allowed to attend the wedding. Concerts were rescheduled and postponed again. Plane tickets to LA even dropped to $22. We spent birthdays social distancing, participated in virtual fake Patty's Day, spent countless nights out in the shop shooting pool, but eventually managed to sneak in a few fun date nights as well. It's truly been a year for the books. Chasing down lifelong dreams, 2020 had both more joy and heartbreak than I'd experienced in years. I watched the seasons change from a new perspective, and of course took full advantage of every travel opportunity. Miami, Nashville, Moab, Utah, and colorful Colorado 5 times. Going out of our way to take white-knuckle roads and chasing down waterfalls. But 2020 gave us obstacles. Despite the emotional roller coaster and every day seemingly going from one extreme to the other, I believe my story speaks for itself. 2020 was a year to reinvent ourselves, learn to adapt and overcome adversity, to count our blessings even when nothing was going our way. With new goals and bigger dreams on the horizon, bring on 2021. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for watching, guys.